The marriage between Kanye West, also known as Ye, and Kim Kardashian didn't end overnight. It was a slow and painful collapse, one that unfolded under the weight of emotional instability, public chaos, and unhealed wounds that fame could never hide. Behind the flashing cameras and luxury homes were two people who had once built a fairy tale together, now trapped in a storm that neither of them could control. By the time Kim finally filed for divorce in 2021, she wasn't leaving out of anger. She was leaving to survive. The relationship had become toxic, unpredictable, and emotionally draining. In the early days, it all seemed perfect. Kim and Kanye were the ultimate power couple. The worlds of fashion, music, and television colliding into one modern love story. They started dating in 2012 after years of friendship, and by 2013, they welcomed their first child, North. Later that year, Kanye proposed inside an empty baseball stadium with the words, "Please marry me," glowing across the screen. It felt cinematic, a proposal only Kanye West could dream up. The following year, they married in a grand ceremony at a fortress in Florence, Italy. It was the kind of love story people thought would last forever. But inside the walls of that glamour was something far less stable. Kim once described their home life as unpredictable. There were days of peace and laughter, and then out of nowhere, bursts of chaos. One day, she would return home to discover that Kanye had given away several of their luxury cars during one of his manic episodes. It wasn't just about the cars, it was about control. She said, "We had 5 Lamborghinis. I'd come home, and they'd all be gone." That kind of unpredictability made her feel like her life could change overnight, depending on his mood. What the world saw as eccentric genius, she experienced as emotional whiplash. The cracks began to widen when Kanye's public outbursts started turning toward Kim's family. He insulted her mother, Kris Jenner, on social media and mocked her sisters in interviews. For Kim, that was a breaking point. She could handle criticism, but not when it involved the people raising her children's cousins. She once said she couldn't tolerate someone talking badly about my kids' grandmother and aunts. Those weren't just internet feuds. They were public wounds, cutting deep into the family that had always been her anchor. Then came one of the most painful moments of their marriage, Kanye's 2020 presidential campaign rally, where he revealed to a crowd that the couple had once considered aborting their first child. It was deeply personal and shocking, a moment that left Kim humiliated and heartbroken. It wasn't just a private matter made public. It was a mother's most intimate decision turned into a political speech. For Kim, that moment symbolized everything that had gone wrong. Her husband was no longer protecting their family, he was exposing it. Through all of this, Kim tried to hold things together. She supported Kanye during his struggles with mental health, stood by him during controversial moments, and kept defending him in public. But behind closed doors, she began to realize something. Love wasn't enough if one person refused to change. She described their relationship as toxic, saying staying would have broken her completely. Leaving him wasn't an act of rejection, it was a decision to protect herself and her children. When the divorce became official, both parents were granted joint custody. But in reality, Kim became the primary caregiver. North, Saint, Chicago, and Psalm lived mostly with her, surrounded by structure and routine, something they hadn't known for a while. Kanye was ordered to pay $200,000 per month in child support and share the cost of their education and security. It wasn't a punishment. It was a way to maintain the life their children were used to. Still, Kanye felt excluded. He often accused Kim and the Kardashians of keeping him away from his kids, calling them a mob that controlled his influential black children. His claims dominated headlines, though legal documents suggested something different. What the world saw as parental conflict was really a deeper battle for power and identity between a father who felt silenced and a mother trying to create peace. Kanye's pain and anger didn't stay private. He took to social media whenever he felt unheard, posting emotional rants about Kim, the kids, and anyone who got involved. He accused her of kidnapping their children and criticized North's use of TikTok. Each post sparked new headlines in public debate. His rage even extended to Pete Davidson, Kim's new partner at the time, mocking him in interviews, lyrics, and even animated music videos. Many experts call this post-separation abuse, when one partner uses harassment to maintain emotional control after the relationship ends. For Kim, it was a reminder that walking away didn't automatically bring peace. The world watched as their private life became a public saga. Millions of people took sides, some defending Kanye's right to speak, others urging him to stop. But Kim remained silent through most of it. She once said that the constant public attacks were more hurtful than any TikTok North might make. Instead of fighting back, she focused on protecting her children from the chaos. She said, "I don't want my kids to see me going back and forth with their dad online." Even when Kanye was at his most difficult, Kim still made sure the kids saw him whenever he asked. But privately, she admitted that sometimes he didn't want to see them, that his own struggles made it hard for him to show up. In his relationships after Kim, Kanye's pattern of control became clearer. With Kim, he had shaped her wardrobe, replaced her entire closet, and turned her image into a reflection of his vision. After the divorce, he did the same with Bianca Censori, dictating how she dressed, what she ate, and how she behaved in public. To outsiders, it looked less like love and more like possession disguised as devotion. Kanye's fear of the Kardashian family went beyond personal resentment. To him, they represented something powerful, a machine that could shape public opinion and rewrite reality. He often said they were trying to erase his influence as a father, calling them a mob that had too much control. Whether true or not, his fear revealed something deeper. He was a man terrified of losing both his family and his legacy. Yet in all the noise, people forget that there was once a quiet time between them, a brief, peaceful period when both agreed to co-parent respectfully. When Kim first filed for divorce, they promised to prioritize their children above everything. For a moment, it seemed possible. But that calm eventually broke apart under the weight of Kanye's emotional battles and public eruptions. What could have been a private transition turned into a global saga. It's also easy to forget that Kim had been through heartbreak before. She married music producer Damon Thomas at just 19, a relationship that ended in 2004. Then came Kris Humphries in 2011, a televised wedding that lasted only 72 days. By the time she met Kanye, she wanted something real, something lasting. And for a while, it was. They built an empire together. Fashion collaborations, magazine covers, 4 children, and a life that looked perfect from the outside. But perfection has its price. And when one partner refuses to heal, love becomes collateral damage. Today, Kim focuses on creating stability for her children, keeping them out of public feuds, and maintaining a peaceful household. Kanye, meanwhile, continues to wrestle with the same demons: creativity, control, and the need to be understood. What remains between them isn't just bitterness. It's a complicated legacy. In the end, the story of Kim and Kanye isn't about fame or money. It's about 2 people who once loved each other deeply, pulled apart by control, ego, and pain. Kim wanted peace. Kanye wanted power. And sometimes those 2 things can't exist in the same home. The fairy tale that started in Florence ended in courtrooms and headlines. But beyond all of it, they still share 4 children who will forever carry pieces of both of them. And maybe in that shared love, there's still a quiet truth. Sometimes walking away isn't losing. Sometimes it's the only way to protect what still matters.